66 million years ago, on a seemingly ordinary morning, the world of the dinosaurs stirred with life. Sunlight filtered through towering ferns and ancient forests, spreading golden warmth across lush valleys. Herds of triceratops grazed lazily, tearing leaves from the branches of cycads. Hadrosaurs wandered in great numbers across open plains, their calls echoing through the still air. In the shadows of the trees, a Tyrannosaurus rex moved with quiet power, each step shaking the earth beneath it. It was a world overflowing with life, a kingdom that had reigned unchallenged for more than 170 million years. For the dinosaurs, it was just another day. But for Earth, it was the beginning of the end. High above, far beyond their reach, a mountain-sized rock was racing toward the planet at unimaginable speed. For millions of years, it had drifted silently through space, a lonely wanderer in the void. Now, fate had chosen its target. In moments, its fiery descent would transform paradise into hell. The first sign came as a piercing point of light in the sky. It grew brighter and brighter, until it outshone the sun itself. A roaring fireball ripped through the atmosphere, trailing incandescent gases and vaporized rock. Then, in a single instant, it struck. The asteroid slammed into the shallow seas of what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula with the force of over 100 million nuclear bombs. The Earth convulsed. A crater more than 90 miles wide was carved into the crust. Rock, water, and air were instantly vaporized. A colossal column of superheated material shot into space, carrying molten rock and ash high above the planet. The very surface of the Earth rippled like liquid. Within seconds, forests were flattened, mountains cracked, and everything within hundreds of miles was obliterated. The impact unleashed shockwaves that tore through the continent. Winds stronger than any hurricane ripped trees from their roots and hurled giant dinosaurs into the air like toys. The ground shook with earthquakes beyond anything humans could ever imagine. To the creatures nearby, it was death in an instant. Swift, merciless, complete. But the devastation reached far beyond the impact zone. In the oceans, the strike displaced billions of tons of water. Towering tsunamis, higher than skyscrapers, raced outward across the seas. Waves hundreds of feet tall smashed into coastlines, drowning entire ecosystems before retreating and dragging the dead and broken into the abyss. Hours later, those same waves crashed against distant shores, spreading destruction to lands half a world away. Then came the rain of fire. The debris blasted into space began to fall back through the atmosphere. Billions of incandescent fragments streaked across the skies, turning night into a blazing inferno. For hours, the heavens rained fire. Forests burst into flames. Grasslands ignited. Across the globe, wildfires raged, merging into a single planetary firestorm. Heat seared the land. The air itself seemed to burn. Dinosaurs fled in panic, but there was no escape. The surface of Earth had become an oven. When the flames subsided, a deeper horror unfolded. The skies grew dark, choked with soot and ash. The thick shroud wrapped around the globe, blocking out the sun. Days turned to dusk, and dusk to endless night. Without sunlight, photosynthesis ceased. Plants withered and died. Algae in the oceans collapsed, dragging entire food chains down with them. Herbivores starved first, their massive bodies succumbing to hunger. Without prey, the mighty predators soon followed. The Tyrannosaurus rex, once an apex predator, was reduced to scavenging from carcasses. But even that would not sustain it for long. One by one, the giants fell. Their bones littered the ashen ground, silent monuments to an empire brought to ruin. The air grew foul with smoke and acid rain. Drops laden with sulfur and toxic chemicals corroded leaves, poisoned rivers, and turned lakes into stagnant pits. From forests to coastlines, everything alive struggled for survival. Over weeks and months, temperatures plummeted. With sunlight trapped above the clouds of ash, Earth entered a sudden, brutal winter. Frost crept into once tropical jungles. Even the hardiest plants succumbed to cold and darkness. The oceans, too, became graveyards. Deprived of sunlight, plankton, the foundation of marine life, perished. With them went the great reptiles of the seas. Mosasaurs and plesiosaurs, once rulers of the oceans, disappeared forever. Silence replaced the once thriving waters. 75% of all life on Earth was extinguished. The roars, the calls, the thunder of countless species, gone. The world of the dinosaurs, vast and untouchable for millions of years, had ended in the blink of an eye. And yet, even in such desolation, life found a way. Beneath the ground, small creatures endured. Tiny mammals, no larger than rats, hid in burrows. They fed on insects, roots, and whatever scraps remained. Their size, once a disadvantage, now became salvation. They needed little food. They could hide from the worst of the fire and cold. And they could wait. In muddy rivers and swamps, crocodiles lay dormant, slowing their bodies to a crawl. Turtles buried themselves, waiting out the bitter months. In the seas, certain hardy fish survived, clinging to existence as the world above collapsed. In the decay of fallen forests, fungi thrived, breaking down the dead and creating the first hints of renewal. Months passed. The clouds of ash began to thin. At last, faint rays of sunlight pierced the gloom. The earth stirred. From blackened soil, the first shoots of ferns pushed upward. Green returned to the wastelands. Where death had ruled, life crept back. As sunlight strengthened, entire fields of ferns spread. They became carpets of green, stretching over once barren lands. Scientists today can still see this moment written in stone. A thick layer of fossilized ferns, marking Earth's rebirth. With the forests returning, so too did the survivors. Mammals scurried among the undergrowth, multiplying quickly. Birds, descendants of the dinosaurs, took to the skies again, filling the silence with song. Slowly, steadily, ecosystems rebuilt themselves. But they were no longer the same. The dinosaurs were gone. Their reign, their dominance, their majesty. It had all ended. But their disappearance opened a new chapter. Freed from the shadows of giants, smaller, quicker, more adaptable creatures now had room to thrive. Over millions of years, those humble survivors would evolve, diversify, and spread across the planet. From them, one day, humans would arise. 66 million years ago, a rock from the heavens reshaped the destiny of Earth. It destroyed an empire, but in the ashes, it planted the seeds of another. Today, every bird in the sky is a living testament to that event. Every song they sing is an echo of survival. The age of dinosaurs ended in fire and darkness. But life did not end. Life endured, life adapted, and in the end, life triumphed. Because on this planet, no matter the catastrophe, Life always finds a way.